This famed Bay Area progressive is getting calls about the Oakland mayor job. But will she run? Oakland, special elections for flashy political jobs usually invite an especially crowded field of candidates, and the growing list of names to replace Shing Tao as mayor of Oakland shows the aftermath of the November 5 recall is no different. But current and former city council members, perennial candidates, and political insiders pondering runs for the city's top elected office may quickly exit the conversation if a progressive heavyweight, Representative Barbara Lee, adds her own name to the mix. Lee has publicly declined to even hint at whether she's considering a mayoral run and had vocally opposed the recall of Tao, who last week conceded defeat in a recall election that will remove her from office by the end of this year. Behind the scenes, however, local political figures have been courting the 78-year-old congresswoman who is said to be weighing her options upon retiring from Congress this year, a post she has held since 1998. She's getting calls from people who want her to run, and she's thinking about it, former council member Ignacio de la Fuente said of a phone conversation he had with Lee. The progressive veteran lawmaker is a living trivia answer for being the only member of Congress to oppose the use of military force following the September 11 terrorist attacks. While representing a district also including Alameda, Berkeley, and San Leandro, she remains somewhat involved in Oakland's municipal affairs, vocally criticizing Diaz for leaving town and speaking at a downtown rally last year by teachers on strike from the city's schools. "We want somebody for mayor who could bridge the business and labor communities, someone who has experience working in different levels of government and could bring those relationships to the table," said Councilmember Kevin Jenkins, who said he spoke on the phone with Lee in recent days about issues affecting the city. Local leaders were hesitant to speak at length about the congresswoman, wary of the perception that they would be seen as pressuring a reluctant candidate into running, which is how former Representative Ron Dellum's mayoral tenure is often remembered. Others have said Lee has become more open to the idea after Kamala Harris lost to Donald Trump in the presidential election, extinguishing any chance of Lee being appointed to a cabinet position. Meanwhile, some early confirmed candidates to succeed Tao have already made it clear that they would drop out of the race if Lee enters it, including de la Fuente, who said it would be almost impossible to overcome Lee's name recognition. Another is lobbyist Isaac Coase-Reed, who worked for Dellums, and former Governor Jerry Brown during their respective tenures as the city's mayor. "I think she has the history, gravitas, and relationships to unite our city at this critical time," Coase-Reed said. Former Councilman Loren Taylor, who finished a close second to Tao in the 2022 mayoral race, said in an interview that he's running to fill the role no matter what. The notion of a Lee mayoral campaign may bring back memories of Brown and Dellums, two political powerhouses in California who led Oakland after serving in much higher-profile posts. Returning from larger stomping grounds to run one of the state's most diverse cities is not always the smoothest transition, political experts have said. Dellums in particular drew criticism for the perception that he was an absentee mayor who struggled to lead the city through the Great Recession, a legacy recorded by most news obituaries when he died in 2018. Representatives for Lee, who worked for Dellums in Congress and later succeeded him in office, declined to comment on this story. All of this could be a moot point within the coming weeks if Lee doesn't run, leaving the post of Oakland mayor to be fought over by a number of familiar names. In addition to Taylor, Coase-Reed, and de la Fuente, prospects for the job include Councilmember Carol Fife, who said she is open to a run after winning re-election to her office, and Alyssa Victory, a former mayoral candidate whose ranked choice vote transfers helped Tao emerge victorious in 2022. The Oakland side reported that among the additional suitors are Derek Sue, a former unhoused resident who dropped out early from the last mayoral race, and Mindy Ruth Pechenuk, an avowed supporter of Trump and an acolyte of the late far-right political leader Lyndon LaRouche. Victory, an ACLU attorney who is discussing a run with friends and family, said she could find reasons to remain in the upcoming race even if Lee were to join in on the fun. "Such a hard-hitting and long-standing leader is still going to need a ranked choice voting strategy," Victory said. Shomik Mukherjee is a reporter covering Oakland. Call or text him at 510-9